Enter the arena uncut. It is time. On the line live from South Korea, Tommy Razorstein, and we are about to listen to the exclusive audio of what happened on Fox Sports. Tommy Razorstein, the Don Juan Banks. We're about to listen to it right now.
And Connor and Nate now join us. Connor, got physical there at the end of your news conference. What happened?
The man's afraid to look me dead in the eye. So he put a frame out in front of him, and I quickly snatched it and broke his wrist.
You got a scared little chintzy shot on my hand because he had to put you to sleep with your gi on.
His little ran up the conference. Because I'm a Don, and that's what Dons do.
You got put out with that thing.
Your whole suit, my socks were worth more than your whole suit you had on, you little bum. You broke. I could buy and sell you 100 times over.
Nate, your thoughts on Connor taking a swing at you?
He's scared.
Did you get hurt? Was your hand hurt or anything like that?
The medics are in with him now. His wrist will never be the same. Like his bum knee, like his bum right leg.
What a chintzy little one.
I'm gonna take that right leg home.
Tell us how you trained for this fight, Nate. Because you didn't get much of a...
Train to kill, always.
And Connor, did you change your approach once it got named Nate for your fight?
The only approach I changed is I dug the grave a little bit wider, a little bit longer for Nate's skinny, fat, long body. That's the only difference I made.
Nate, Connor says this has been the easiest training week of his career. Do you think he's overlooking you?
Look at the lineups. He has fought little nobodies. Look at my last 20 fights. Better step it up for this one.
Connor, your response to that?
His last fight was a decision. I bounce heads off the canvas every time.
Against a normal-sized human being.
Connor, you said at the press conference last week that you actually liked Nick and Nate. Has your opinion changed about that now after this week?
No, there's no emotions in it. I have no problem with him. I'm going to slap the head off him. It's business as usual. I'll bury him, and you know, I'll let his gazelle team.
You got to recognize because he knows what's real. He knows this is the real.
See, you know it's the real. It's the real. You know it's the real. You know it's the real, and you'll know Saturday night.
Yeah, right.
You'll know Saturday night.
You'll know.
Nate, Connor has gone on record by saying that he's going to win by knocking you out. What's your approach? How do you think this fight's going to go down?
Yeah, we're going to see what happens to him Saturday. We'll see. Better hope. He better hope.
Hope for what?
Better hope he gets that knockout. Otherwise, it's going to be a up night for him.
And Connor, if you don't get the knockout, is it a up night for you?
If he's still conscious when he hits the mat, I will crush his hips and pass his guard and mount him and strangle him.
Out by
I'll strangle him.
How are you the
like
best?
A boa constrictor wrapped around his long frame. A boa constrictor wrapping around the gazelle.
You were submitted by lames. Yeah, that was not even that long ago. That was like a week ago.
Nate, we saw you flip the crowd off after the press conference. What are you hearing from the hecklers out there?
Oh, they had a couple. I was just letting them know. I see them. But it's all good.
Are you intimidated at all? There's going to be a massive contingent of Irish fans, just like there have been for Conor's last few fights. Are you intimidated at all by that?
No, never. I got Irish fans hit me up, too. I got them out there.
Connor, you mentioned you buried 3 bodies in Vegas. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, one was an American named Dustin Poirier. The other was another American named Chad Mendez. And then finally was a pound-for-pound number 1 at the time, Jose Aldo, the Brazilian. I buried them in the dirt.
They were scared little women.
And now I'm going to bury this chump on Saturday night.
Nate, that must get into your head when someone says they're going to bury you in Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Conor, how close are you to 170 right now?
Sitting pretty. I'm sitting pretty up here.
Do you have much to cut, do you think?
Full belly.
Are you feeling good going into the weekend?
Weight.
Yeah.
I'm on weight. I am on weight.
Nate, what brotherly advice is your brother giving you for this fight? Any at all?
His brother's in the club.
The day clubs? How close are you guys? How close are you guys to each other right now? Like, could you reach out and swing at each other right now, Conor?
No, he's hiding somewhere. I don't know where the still gotta walk.
We'll see. We'll see. See, come and see what happens.
Yeah, right.
I told you I'll put a hole in your face.
Yeah, right.
You'll be breathing out of your rest of your life.
Yeah, right.
Parting shots for one another. Conor, let's start with you.
The talking is done. We're ready to fight now. This is just bull. All this just going back and forth. We're ready to fight now. It's primed. It's sold. Let's do it.
Nate, Conor loves to make predictions about his fights. Nate, do you have a prediction for Saturday?
No, I don't. He don't believe his prediction.
I believe I'm going to bounce your head off the canvas.
You don't believe it? Those you beat, they believed it. You don't even believe that. You hope.
Yeah, we'll see.
You hope.
We'll see.
You better hope.
Can't wait for Saturday, guys. Best of luck to both of you.
You don't believe that.
I believe you can't do nothing but survive. That's what you believe. Right. You're just praying you can survive.
Look at my line.
I can hear it in your voice. I can hear it in your words. You're just hoping to survive in there. That's it. If you get out a second, if you get out a first round, you're happy. You're happy. You're gonna look for the
rich people shouldn't fight. Rich kids shouldn't fight ever. Real people fight. Real fighters fight, not rich kids.
I'll gut you like a fish. You tick.
You were born rich.
You don't know me. You don't know where the I came from. You little twerp. I'll ride into Stockton and take everyone out. Full of snitches in Stockton.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of Stockton in my life.
Yeah.
Canaries in Stockton, yeah? Sing like little canaries.
Why you calling people gazelles too? You got the weakest, lamest lineup of training partners I ever even heard of.
I'm just looking at your little frame.
Yeah.
And it just reminds me of an injured gazelle.
Yeah.
Strapped up.
People don't know what that means.
Take your top off.
No one knows what that means. It's in America.
Take your top off. You little fat, skinny.
Yeah, right. No one knows what gazelle is anyway. It's America. Get it right.
Thanks, fellas.
And Conor and Nate now join us. Conor got physical there at the end of your
Tommy Razorstein, that was the conclusion. March 5th, tomorrow night, Las Vegas, Nevada. Conor McGregor coming up from featherweight, 145. Not the lightweight, but welterweight, 170. You've seen it all. You've seen the press conference where they were brawling. You've seen Fox Sports where they're cussing each other out. What's going to happen here, Razorstein?
I don't know how you can just, jump up to 170 from 145. I mean, he just completely skipped, a weight class from in the middle. I don't know how he can possibly do that. I don't see how he can jump up and make a difference. If this goes 5 rounds, I'm going to give it to Nate. There's no way you can, win the championship rounds. And I don't think Conor's ever fought in championship rounds. So I would really give it to Nate in a championship rounds if it goes that far. In the 4th and 5th, Nate being bigger like that, Conor's weighing in at below weight. I mean, it's going to be crazy. He's going to be weighing in.
He said he was on weight, Razorstein.
He said he was below weight. He said he
said, I'm on weight. He said, I saw one video with a full belly.
Yeah, I saw one video. He said he was on weight, at 165 or so. And he's already, eaten. that's too little, man. That's a big deal. I mean, you should be cutting down from if you want to go to 170, you should be cutting down from 190.
So you're
And that's a
saying
big
I
deal.
remember when Dan Henderson took on Daniel Cormier and Dan had weighed in light 199, something like that for that fight.
Yeah, remember that?
And you said that he's going to lose. You said that from the beginning. I'm going with Conor Razorstein, but can you tell us more in detail how much this weight will play a factor in this fight?
All right. If someone does weigh in lighter, and it really makes gives confidence to the other person, first of all. So if you watch your opponent weigh in and he's a lot lighter than you, it's like, oh wow, I'm like ready for this. I just dropped the weight, and I'm gonna go against somebody who's given up weight. Oh wow, and like you weigh yourself again afterwards the next day before you fight, and Nate's gonna be probably like 180. It's gonna be a big difference, man. It's gonna be a big difference.
So you're saying Nate Diaz is going to cut weight to 170. He's going to rehydrate and he's going to be 180, 185, 190.
Yeah.
And Conor will be below. You feel what do you Conor said he's on weight. Do you feel he will weigh in at 170 or below?
He's gonna weigh in below.
Oh, are you sure? Do you know the weigh-in is about to take place soon?
I'm gonna say my prediction is he's gonna weigh in below. By I'd say 4 or 5 pounds, which is a big deal.
I got Conor McGregor in this fight, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I believe he has the movement. I believe even if he is not at 170 or if he's below and Nate Diaz is at a heavier weight, if he consistently uses the movement, he consistently breaks Nate Diaz down with the inside low kicks, the mixed midsection, kicks to the midsection, and up top, mixing up the strikes and not staying in one spot in the pocket. Conor McGregor can win this fight. He has the stamina. You say that you believe that Nate will have the stamina in the championship rounds, which we are talking about the 4th and 5th round, not the 3rd round. We're talking about the 4th and 5th round. And basically, I believe that Conor McGregor is the one that's going to have more stamina. I believe Conor McGregor has the movement. I believe Conor McGregor.
I think if he gets those kicks in the beginning, then maybe. But like, if he doesn't get those kicks off and Nate starts figuring out those kicks and he can snap those jabs in Conor McGregor's face, it's going to be a long fucking night, man. A real long fucking night.
Are you confident in Nate Diaz's stamina when he has not had a training camp? The only thing that has been said is Dana White says he's in shape because he was training for a triathlon. That's bullshit. Nate Diaz has not been training.
He looked great in his last fight. What are you talking about? His physique looked great in his last fight. He's training for a triathlon. I think he looks great. I think he'll come in great.
No training.
I'm not concerned. Okay, he just fought recently though, and he's using, he's going for triathlons. He just recently fought, and he's going for triathlons. He's in shape. He's fine. He'll be fine. Well, what I'm talking about is this: Conor McGregor is gonna fucking, die in the later rounds if he doesn't get those kicks off.
Before.
If he doesn't kick those kicks off, we saw what happened with Chad Mendes. Mendes started dying because he got hit with those kicks. If he doesn't get those kicks off, it's going to be a fucking long night for Conor. Conor's going to get hit with those jabs, and there's those pity-pat punches that really throw off your timing, and it's going to be really difficult for him to close the distance. Now, if he does get those kicks off, then he'll win the fight. But if he doesn't get those kicks off and doesn't get to the midsection, which I don't think he will, but he might, but I don't think he will, I think Nate's going to fucking...
Yes. Let's be honest here. Nate Diaz is not at the top of his game. He has not had a training
top of his
game.
Is he at the top of the game
are in Conor McGregor's favor. In fact, Conor McGregor gave him a blessing. Okay, he gave him a birthday gift early. All right. Christmas came early to Nate Diaz. You know why? Because he allowed him to fight at welterweight. So there will be no excuses. Okay. 11 days out. You weigh in at welterweight. You're the bigger man. There's no excuses when he gets his ass kicked. McGregor has all the skills to beat Nate Diaz. Only thing Nate Diaz really has is the weight advantage. He's a stationary target. He's flat-footed. His punches can easily be dipped under, can easily be countered. Long as Conor McGregor keeps his movement and breaks him down, he will be able to stop Nate Diaz. This might not be a quick knockout, might not be the first round like he's predicting, but if he stays to a strategic game plan, Nate Diaz will break down. Nate Diaz, in my opinion, Michael Johnson, he had his moments. I believe he won that fight unanimously, but Johnson did have moments in that fight. He did have moments in that fight, and that was a Nate Diaz coming back after a year
Chad
off.
Mendes had his moments. Chad Mendes had his moments, and if he didn't get caught with those kicks, he was doing well in the fight. He would look, exhausted after that one kick. Now Conor did get the kick, but Chad didn't get hit with those kicks and didn't fucking try and pass a guard like an idiot and try and go for a kill and just stayed on top of him, ground and pound him. He would have won that fucking round. He would have won I think he would have won the first round and the second round. Definitely in the second round. And that fight would have went on a lot longer.
But a W is a W. He whipped his ass, moved on to Jose Aldo, knocked him out in 13 seconds. And now he's fighting a Nate Diaz who has not had a training camp, who is not sharp. He is not sharp for this.
He's sharp.
No,
he's the sharpest we've ever seen.
I can't wait to talk to you after this thing is over and you see that Conor McGregor whips his ass and he's heavier than him. I can see it in his face that he's not even 100% confident in his skills. He's for long periods of time. He doesn't say anything. He got Conor McGregor right in front of his face. He should be talking more. You said he was the one.
That's his personality. I mean, he's
Conor McGregor, and he's still being dominated like a whore.
That's his personality, and you know that. That's who Nate is. If he's throwing punches at you, he'll talk shit. He feels comfortable talking shit as he's throwing punches, as he's in the mix, in a verbal, physical conduct. He doesn't feel comfortable talking shit,
he didn't feel comfortable talking shit at the UFC 17. Oh, he felt very comfortable then. He felt
but he has to be in a cage. He feels comfortable in a cage. That's just who he is. He feels comfortable when he's in that world. Outside of that world, he doesn't feel comfortable. He likes fucking taunting and talking shit while he's fighting. It's gonna throw off Conor. Conor's gonna come and be a little bit surprised that Nate's gonna be talking shit to him, throwing up hands. It's gonna be really odd in the first fucking 30 seconds of that fight about two people throwing up their hands. It's really gonna be a big deal too of who's gonna get in each other's head. Nate, I think, will start getting those jabs off in the beginning.
Oh no!
And Conor's gonna talk shit, and Nate's gonna have him better. And Nate's gonna be better.
And gonna be able to.
Nate's gonna be better at talking shit.
McGregor can use the oblique kick to in the inside low kicks and front kick. All these kicks can throw Nate Diaz off very easily. He should be able to out jab him. I hope Conor McGregor uses his jab. I mean, I think that is going to be a very effective tool. I think Nate Diaz is going to try to take it to the ground. Believe it or not, this is the man from Stockton who wants to stand up with everybody. But I think this is where you're going to be unimpressed with Nate Diaz, and you're going to say after this fight, what the fuck happened? He let Conor McGregor get in his head. Conor McGregor got in his head. He dominated the press conferences. He slapped his hand to the side, and everybody jumped on stage, and McGregor was not intimidated by anybody. And
that was good. That was good. I was happy when I saw that. I was happy.
I know you were. I understand.
Nate looked good right there. That's when Nate looked good. That's what Nate
Diaz is going to lose this fight.
No, he's not.
He's going to lose.
What's the odds on this? I want to know what the odds on this.
Are you not willing to bet? You're not willing to bet?
Yeah, what? I want to know the odds so I can bet. Conor McGregor must be the favorite in this fight.
You would bet. Are you willing to record when you place a bet if you're going to bet on this fight? Because I would. Who's Corey betting on that?
I don't know.
He probably is
I'm
going.
trying to. I'm waiting for Corey to get off work. When Corey gets off work,
how do you feel this fight's going to play out then? Since you going with Nate Diaz, and I don't hate Nate Diaz.
why do you hate Nate Diaz?
I say I don't.
Why do you hate Nate Diaz, Don?
I don't hate Nate Diaz. I always speak highly of Nate Diaz. I'm just saying that this is a fight that he's not going to win. I mean, I can look right into his eyes. I'm looking at the screen right now. He doesn't even believe in himself. He has to ask Big Brother Nick Diaz for advice against Conor McGregor, running to his big brother because he's getting trashed. That's what now. That's the first time I've seen Nate Diaz. I heard, Michael Johnson said that Nate Diaz gets all big and bad when he got all those people around him, but when he's by himself, his mouth is shut. And you said he's comfortable in the octagon. Well, you start looking at the guy's track record. He lost to Rafael dos Anjos, okay? When he had his chance, he lost to Benson Henderson. He lost to Josh Thompson, and ironically, when he lost to Josh Thompson, a relatively old man, he lost by a head kick, and he was getting kicked over and over again. And the only thing Josh Thompson did was have distance and have range. Who is the master of movement? Who is the master of distance? Who is the master of range? His name is Conor McGregor. Now I do understand why McGregor gave him this fight, because he is an easy target. You're just going to see a man get hit multiple times over and over again and collapse to the ground. The weight will hold him up, but his heart will fail.
If he does go to the ground and does pull him on top of him, Conor McGregor is going to be in some trouble.
He could be. I'm not going to disagree with you on that.
All right? He's going to be in some trouble playing jiu-jitsu. All right? And there's, one thing that Conor can do. He can throw those kicks, right? But if he can't get those kicks off, he's not going to be able to get the distance. He's not going to be able to get that left hand. There's no way he's going to be able to outbox Nate. I doubt it. I highly doubt that he can outbox Nate. He can't play judo better than him. All he has is the kick to take away his endurance. But I don't see it happening, man. I see Nate just, taunting him right in the beginning, and Conor being kind of confused. I'm telling you, Nate didn't look great in the conference, but and when he steps into the cage, he's gonna fucking look a lot better. He's not gonna be looking at the ground like no goddamn Jose Aldo. He's gonna be, fired up. He's going to look good when he's in the cage. He's going to throw his hands up, and he's going to start fucking getting that distance. He's going to start getting those jabs off on Conor, and Conor's going to be confused. In the first 25 seconds, Nate's going to fucking start throwing his jabs. He's going to put some jabs in his face, and Conor is going to be confused. And people are going to go, wow, I didn't expect Nate to get those jabs off.
No.
And Conor's going to go for that kick, and Nate's going to try and avoid that kick, and Conor's going to keep getting caught with a bunch of jabs, and he's going to be confused on how to deal with those jabs.
He's going to kick the legs out,
and then he's going to keep talking shit to him. And Conor's going to have a hard time being taunted for the first time in his life, and he's going to get taunted.
Now, I know he's going to get taunted, but he's going to taunt back. He's going to kick. He's going to kick. He's going to
lose the taunting game. He's going to lose the taunting game.
If he stands there, let me tell you something. If he stands there and does not have his distance, and he's getting jabbed, and then he starts to become complacent, then of course he can start getting picked apart. But all he needs is very basic, limited movement. He doesn't even need great movement. What happened with Michael Johnson? When Michael Johnson was getting the jab, was getting in one spot, he was winning. But then when he started standing in one spot and he let Nate Diaz get in, that's what. Yes.
Who's better at staying in one spot, Nate or Conor?
Nate Diaz.
All right. When you talk shit, you're standing in one spot. You're not moving back and forth. So if you're talking shit and you're talking shit to each other, that's why Nate talks shit, because he does stand still. He does stand in that position. When Conor talks shit, he doesn't move side to side. He talks shit. He stands more. Watch the video.
That's going to be a big mistake. Then that
is going to be a huge mistake
of this fight.
It's going to be a huge mistake. He's going to talk shit. He's going to talk shit to Nate, and he's going to stand still. He's not going to move side to side. He's going to taunt Nate, and he's going to stand and stay in the same position as Nate. He's not
dumb enough to do that. He's
Yes,
not
he
dumb enough
is.
to do that.
Yes, he
With the
is.
movement coach that he has, he's going to
He's
stand in
not
one
going to.
spot. I don't
He's
believe
not going to use his
it.
movement. He's
When that
not going to
happens,
use his
then I'll
movement.
believe it. But it's not going to happen.
That's why I'm betting him. I'm betting on Nate
You're
because I
crazy.
think
You're ready
Connor
to.
is okay. Think about it this way: there's lots of wrestlers who abandon their wrestling and try and go for the headshot knockouts, right? I think Connor's going to abandon his movement and go for the head game of taunting. You know what I mean? And just try and
That would be
taunt.
a big
Now, if
mistake,
you do
which I
taunt,
don't believe
you're
will
going to
happen.
taunt Nate Diaz. You're going to stand still. Nate Diaz, if you stand still with Nate Diaz, you know, in his world, Nate's going to pick you apart. Connor has to use the movement, and talking shit, you're not going to be able to move. It's going to be a lot better for Nate. I'm telling you.
Conor McGregor has a high volume of punches also. A master of boxing, capoeira, kickboxing, taekwondo, karate. And with this movement, he's going to be able to establish that range. He's going to be able to establish that distance. Okay. All he needs is the distance, like the fencing in and out. He gets in, he gets out. He gets in, he gets out. I am not, and I repeat, I am not advocating for him to stand in one spot, talk shit, and stay in the pocket. If he does that, he could be in serious trouble. If it goes down to the ground, he could be in serious trouble because what you're looking at is a bigger man. That expertise is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Now, when we talk about the boxing of Nate Diaz, to be honest with you, Tommy Razorstein, is very elementary. If he stepped in the ring with a real boxer, he would get ate up flat-footed, really telegraphed punches. Is just a high volume of it. He has 100%. He doesn't have head movement. He doesn't have head movement. I heard you say that in the past. He doesn't have head movement. His head doesn't move. But
No, he
McGregor
doesn't.
can't become a head hunter.
He doesn't have head movement.
If he
You're right.
becomes a head hunter and says, "Oh, I'm getting my shots on him. I'm gonna stay there," then that's a false sense of security because you're putting yourself in the danger zone. Because I
He
am
do-
very
You're right, Don. He doesn't have head movement. You're absolutely right. But you know what? Conor McGregor is going to abandon his movement.
I don't believe that, man. Believing is seeing. Believe
He's
if
going
you
to
do bet,
abandon
can
it.
you record when you're
And
betting on it? Because I would love to put it up on Facebook or something because you said you're ready to bet.
yep, I'd bet.
That would be very
I'm looking up
powerful.
the odds. I'm trying to find the odds. I think I'd have good odds on it. Conor McGregor is going to abandon his movement and get caught in a taunting war with Nate Diaz. And Nate Diaz, if you stay and try and out taunt Nate Diaz, you know, in a stationary way, you're going to lose. And he's going to lose because he's going to get caught in a taunting war with Nate Diaz in that style. And he's going to get stuck in Nate Diaz's world. He's not going to turn it into Conor's world. That's my prediction.
Razorstone, what did you think of the press conference where a brawl, he slapped Nate Diaz's hand and a brawl almost broke out?
And I thought Nate looked good. I was happy with Nate doing that.
Conor,
And
Conor does get in his opponent's face, everything like that, but I never seen Conor put his hands on somebody before.
and Nate walked out and like put his fist close to Conor's face first. Do you know what I mean? So I was happy with that. I was happy that he was pushing
And
his physical
I thought
opponent.
Conor responded very well by pushing his hand back, basically
He
saying
had to.
he was
He
going to
had to.
fight.
I thought
Rosenstein, it's the weigh-in is just in a few hours. The fight is tomorrow night. Um, the electricity you can cut with a knife. Uh, Conor McGregor is on the precipice of being the UFC's biggest star, surpassing Ronda Rousey. When we were talking about Ronda Rousey going against Holly Holm, she was on the precipice of being immortalized. She was so close. I mean, the finish line was just seconds away. McGregor finds himself in that same position right now. Right now, how devastating would it be for McGregor to lose tomorrow night?
then Dana would lose his last, hero. Dana has one hero left. He lost Ronda. He lost that douchebag kid. He lost Mendez.
He lost Pettis.
He lost that other chick, hot chick. Forget her name. She was hot. She got shit beat out of her now.
Well,
anyway,
Tommy Razorstein, will you be joining us on a hangout or something tomorrow night after this fight? Do you have time for that?
Definitely. Always there, dude.
For Tommy Razorstein, the best MMA analyst on YouTube today, he's going with Nate Diaz. For the Don Banks, I'm going with Conor McGregor. It's going to be something that you cannot miss. You must stay tuned. You must be attentive because anything can happen. This weigh-in is going to be heightened security. Enter the arena uncut. The Don Banks and Tommy Razorstein. Take that time to subscribe. Peace.
Peace. Don, you there?
Yeah, I just got to get ready. I'm going to put the video up.
All right.
Thank you.